Hi everyone, my name is Anna from Akashic Awakening. I haven't made a video like this in the longest time, not since the beginning of my channel. So, hi, nice to see you. This was originally going to be a meditation with a channeled message in the beginning, but the channeled message was over 6 minutes long, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily like to hear 6 minutes of talking, they just want to get into the meditation. So at the end of this video, there will be a brief meditation and activation with these energies because I still want to do that. But I'm presenting the video in this way so that people know what they're signing up for, essentially, know what they're getting into. My notes are down here. I channeled 2 pages of written word the other day, and I don't want to miss anything that I channeled. So I have my notes here. If you see me looking down, that's why. And otherwise, let's get into it. So the main first message that came through was this idea of a willing sacrifice, a willingness to surrender to an initiation in order to bring forth deep insight and major life changes. So, this was coming through with the metaphor of the hero's journey, in the sense that everything that we go through in life has its meaning and its purpose. And this idea was coming through about being able to surrender. And a new synonym or definition for surrender came through, which meant to be grateful for what you dislike. And funnily enough, what anchored this in for me was this little yogi tea message I got. This was I looked at this and then wrote 2 pages. So it says, gratitude is not about what is received, it's about how you receive what is there. And that's been such a big lesson for me lately in my life, is being able to be grateful for the things that you dislike. Because I feel like we're so polarized in our society. We're so trained to have strong likes and strong dislikes, things about ourselves that we like, and things about ourselves that we dislike, things about our life that we like or dislike. When we are caught up in this manifestation idea, we often begin bringing in these like separations, these boxes that create more dissonance in our life, because we have this idea of, okay, this is what I have now, don't quite like it, not the biggest fan. This is what I want, definitely like that, definitely want that. And so in the process, sometimes we end up amplifying the feeling of what we dislike because we're so focused on it. We're so focused on this idea of what we want to achieve, what we want to receive. Oh, I'll be happy when I have this, right? And then every day you look in the mirror or you look in your life and you still have this. And it creates these waves and these cycles, right? And these waves and these cycles are meant to happen because every time those upset feelings come up, you're tapping into a new layer and level of yourself that needs to be healed in order for this higher timeline, or this better experience, I should say, to be received. And so the challenge that I was given with this message was to be able to surrender, meaning to be able to be grateful for what you dislike in your life. So instead of focusing on this idea of what you dislike and allowing those feelings of unhappiness or dissatisfaction to persist, shift your perspective. Because there's always something to be grateful for. Like if you have body image issues, you can always be grateful that you have a body, you know? There's so many things like wanting um, a bigger home or a better career or whatever it is. And then you can find gratitude and happiness in the sense that you have a roof over your head and that you have a family that you love. There's always so much to be grateful for. And the importance is to shift our focus to gratitude, not to allow any room for that. Is there a word opposite of gratitude? Ingratitude? I'm not sure. So just surrender and let it be. In the tarot, we have this card known as the Tower, and it's the archetype of divine energy coming in and tearing down these false structures that we create in our life. These false structures can be limiting beliefs, control mechanisms, delusions, so on and so forth. We build these safety survival mechanisms and these false ideas of control, like I want this exactly, and this is what will make me happy, and this, and I choose. I'm the one calling the shots, and it's this dissonant energy of illusion. It doesn't actually come from divinity, it comes from ego. And so, of course, as you are, manifesting your highest good, manifesting your highest timeline, divinity is going to swoop down and tear down all these edifices because they're holding you back and they're limiting your growth. They're limiting your capacity to feel and experience actual freedom and happiness. They might create a temporary sense of happiness or freedom because you might feel in control instead of out of control for that brief amount of time. But then the universe comes in, tears it all down, because we need to continuously grow. We can't stay in one place or one structure or one mindset for too long without limiting ourselves. So if you have been in a place where you're like, I have had so many difficult lessons, so many difficult experiences in my life, I don't want to learn lessons that way anymore. I don't want to learn lessons through suffering and struggling. Well, the key to being able to accomplish that is being willing to surrender, being completely, totally willing to let go, to allow your body to float down the river of life and to not have a second thought in your head that carries doubt about where it's carrying you. You have to be willing to trust, and that's difficult. But if you want to stop learning those hard lessons, where the universe is coming in and tearing things away from you that you thought were keeping you safe, then you need to be willing to surrender. Not just surrender to life, but surrender to the things that you dislike. Everything serves its purpose in your life. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. And so if you have something in your life that you are constantly, put face to face with, and you're like, I don't like you, you have to be willing to surrender to the thing that you dislike to see what's within it. You have to be willing to dive deeper into that feeling, into that experience, to see what the universe is trying to teach you. If you keep trying to circumnavigate it or pass it on the river or push it out of the river, push it out of your experience, it's just going to keep pulling it in stronger and stronger because it's solidifying the fact that you need to learn that lesson. So you have to be willing to let it in. Okay, page 1. Done. Oh, and so everything has its purpose and its reason. If you are manifesting your highest timeline and you have this question of, okay, I'm manifesting my highest timeline, but why am I still experiencing hurdles? Why am I still experiencing things that I don't like? And that's because those experiences, those things are in your highest and best good. It's not always like this cookie cutter version. Like the highest timeline isn't this timeline where everything's perfect and you never have problems or suffering or issues in your life ever again. Life is not rainbows and butterflies all the time. There are certain aspects of life that are unavoidable. We can't delude ourselves and blind ourselves into thinking that only happiness and only positivity is possible. We can adjust our perception to be willing to be grateful no matter the adversity that we're experiencing. But there are going to be things in life that suck, no matter what. I tell people all the time, there's nothing you can do to make death, like a death or a loss, not suck and not be traumatic, We have this idea of everything needs to be happy and everything needs to be golden and shining, and that's not actual wholeness. That's not actual unity. That's us being unwilling to look at darkness and accept it. But in the process, we're just torturing ourselves. We're attracting more of it. We're increasing our focus on it. We can lessen our suffering by expanding our psychic abilities, by expanding our heart, by understanding that we're all eternal. There are spiritual teachings that will lessen the suffering. There's perceptions of gratitude that can allow us to be grateful for what we still have, even after a loss. But there are certain things in life that are just never going to be good, okay? Depressing message of the day, right? We have to be willing to accept what is coming through in our life. It's a delusion to think, I'm manifesting my highest timeline, so no one's gonna die. Nothing's gonna go wrong. I'm never gonna trip and fall ever again. That's just a delusion. It's just another level and layer of delusion. And in our spiritual awakening, what we're pursuing is actual wisdom, is actual awareness. It's a strength that comes with being able to sit with both our light and our darkness. And to be able to sit with both light and darkness as a human on this earth, because both are present. We can't delude ourselves into thinking that only one exists, okay? So everything serves its purpose in your life. Those bad things, that's just a perception. It's just a perception. Because if that bad thing is serving your evolution, it's serving your highest good, it's making you stronger and wiser and more open-hearted and loving, then it's just a perception that it's any worse than the good things, okay? So don't be tricked into believing that just because some hiccups are happening on your road doesn't mean you're not on your highest and best good. Gratitude, thank you, Yogi T. Gratitude is not about what is received, it's about how you are receiving what's there. Being grateful that you're breathing air, right? Being grateful that you have a body no matter what it looks like, no matter where you are on your timeline, what you have and what you don't have yet. Be grateful for all of it. Be grateful that you're alive to be able to hope and want for more, and focus on expanding this feeling of gratitude, okay? So I think we're almost done. Let's see. Oh, here are a few specific things, right? There's going to be pain and joy. Like I said, you can't block one out. Surrender to poverty to experience abundance. Surrender to your past to embrace your future, which is just saying, if there is something that you are so desperately against in your life, you need to surrender to it to learn your lessons. So surrender in one sense means dive deep into it, find the messages, the guidance, the insight, the lessons for you that are within that experience. And two, be willing to find gratitude for it. Be willing to find gratitude for the things in your life that you don't like. Remove resistance. Push and pull. Oh, this was another metaphor that was coming through, was this idea of the pendulum. And if you push, if you're pulling this pendulum, say this is what you want on this side, and this is what you don't want, and the pendulum's over here, and you're just, or the pendulum's in the middle, right? Because that's where it starts. And you're experiencing both. You're experiencing a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, it comes and it goes, right? And you're pulling the pendulum this way, saying, this is what I want to experience. Only good, only good, only good. Well, the natural flow of the universe of energy is that it'll flick back to the opposite side. And you're just creating dissonance. You're creating disruption. You're creating highs, emotional highs, and you're creating emotional lows. Whereas being in the middle, where you are experiencing both and able to accept that you are experiencing both, is a place of actual balance, is a place of actual spiritual truth. You can be happy in this space if you allow yourself to be, and you can still manifest these things and these experiences that you're wanting to have. By letting go, you're not letting go of your opportunity to have them. You're trusting that you're manifesting your highest timeline, that whatever is in alignment for you is going to come through, and just letting it. Not being so hung up on the details, not being so hung up on the timelines. My spirit guides have joked with me a million times. I'm like, how many times have you told me this was the last step? How many times have you told me that this was the last obstacle? And they always say, well, if I was honest with you and I told you it was going to take 2 more years, would you not have given up? I'm like, yeah, that probably would have broken me. I needed the motivation and the inspiration of thinking I was right there. I was almost there. And then, another initiation, another initiation. And being able to be grateful for it, right? Being able to be grateful, whether it's 2 years that takes us there, 2 days, 2 hours, whatever it is, okay? Being able to be grateful. You came here to learn. We came here to make the world a better place, to learn lessons about ourselves, about the universe, about the nature of life and energy. So just take that into consideration. You came here to learn. And oftentimes the energies and the lessons that we're dropped into, see, I've been talking for 16 minutes. How was I going to make this an intro to a meditation? The experiences and the energies that we're dropped into in life are often the opposite of what we're intended to experience, because we have to learn everything about that energy in order to resonate in the opposite of it. We have to learn everything about poverty in order to be rich, or we have to learn everything about sadness and anger in order to know a stable happiness. So have faith. Have faith that what you're experiencing now is not the end all be all. Be willing to surrender to it. And the quicker you surrender, the quicker you let it go. The quicker you surrender, the quicker you learn the lessons, the quicker you get that experience out of your repertoire, right? The quicker you move on to something different and something better. So don't resist it because you're just holding yourself in it longer. Okay? So that is it. So the video is going to cut out here. I'm going to put on a nice little image and the meditation will take over from here. Bye. Alrighty, Meditation Anna is in the building. So if you are ready to drop in, please get into a comfortable position. Close your eyes. And as always, let's start with a few deep breaths. Inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth at your own pace. Deep, slow breaths. We're calming the nervous system, we're slowing down, and we're tuning in to our natural wisdom. Our body's natural wisdom and our soul's wisdom. And on your exhales, feel free to sigh. You stimulate the vagus nerve in your throat when you do that, and it physically creates the experience of relaxation. And vocalizing also just helps us release pent up or stored energy. You can stretch or rotate any part of your body that feels like you might have some pent up energy in it. And then just exhale it out with an audible sigh. Shaking, moving, letting it go. Embodying this energy of surrendering, of letting go, of dropping in. If you feel called to, you can place your hands anywhere on your body that you feel intuitively called to. And begin to imagine roots like a tree growing out of your body and into the earth beneath you. Growing deeper and deeper through layers of dirt and rock. Growing closer to the center of Mother Earth. the great purifier, the great transmuter, the great alchemizer. And just begin to release any energy that no longer serves your highest good out of your body, out of your field, down your roots now. Letting it slip away. Seeing or feeling that energy as it slips out of your body and down your roots into the earth. And again, just keeping up with those exhales through the mouth. Allowing yourself to sigh and be audible, make noise as you exhale. Because every time you do that, you are releasing energy. Your inhales are coming in and they're collecting that energy that no longer serves your highest good. And on your exhales, blowing it out, letting it go. Inhales are picking up any debris, and exhales are pushing it out of you. And just continuing like this. Allowing your inhales to pick up those energies, those bits and pieces of resistance, of control, of limitation. And your exhales, you're just releasing them. And begin to see these energies in your body and field. These tower card energies, these limiting beliefs, these false structures of control, these delusions that you might have been carrying about life or about yourself. Sensing the way that they are tense and heavy and dense. Perceiving the way that they are holding you back, rather than supporting your path of spiritual awakening. And you can sense and feel that they're honestly quite uncomfortable. Our ego built these structures with the idea of protection and comfort in mind, but we've grown quite uncomfortable within them. They're like the cocoon that the butterfly has to break free from, with the opposite end of that being the butterfly that never leaves the cocoon, the butterfly that never spreads its wings and gets to experience another, more beautiful version of itself. These beliefs, these limitations, they might have supported you for a certain amount of time, but now you are beginning to perceive how uncomfortable they are, how restricting they are. All of the experiences and the feelings that you desire to have are on the other side of this cocoon. In the darkness of the cocoon, you haven't been able to see and perceive yourself as a butterfly yet. As far as you know, you're still the caterpillar that went into this process. You are in this place in your life where you want to perceive and experience the metaphorical butterfly. And the truth is that you're already there. I'm hearing you've already done the work. You've already made so many changes. You've already learned so many lessons. You've already become the butterfly. But you have to leave the false structures from the past in order to metaphorically spread your wings and fly. The past version of you knew that it had to go into this process. It knew that it had to build the cocoon. It knew what it was trying to accomplish, because the seed of your spiritual awakening has been blossoming in your heart all of this time. And the work that you have put in is complete. You have to be willing to let go of these false structures from your past in order to embrace a new life, a new world, a new experience. And you can visualize all of these energies that have been holding you back and limiting you and keeping you in this energy of fear and doubt and lack as this cocoon that is surrounding you and your beautiful soul. And begin to break out of the cocoon. You can physically move your hands and peel it off of your body. You can break out of it with your wings. You can set it on fire, wash it away with water. Begin to release your cocoon and allow it to evaporate and dissolve down your roots. Return it to earth. Setting yourself free. Freedom is available to you. It's a perspective. It's a choice. Freedom is the willingness to abandon false structures of control. Being able to let go of the idea of I know best. Being willing to trust that everything is actually genuinely unfolding in your highest and best good. And if you can't see why right now, then trust that one day you will understand. Trust that one day it will make sense. No longer have doubt for yourself and divinity. No longer carry doubt for this life of yours. And feel your wings spreading. It's like a breath of fresh air to feel your soul and your light expand. To know that you have been holding yourself back for so long, and that you're finally setting yourself free. You're finally choosing to move on. You know it's time. You're ready. You wouldn't be here right now if you weren't ready. And just feeling as the light of your soul expands with these wings. Those feelings of repression and restriction are no longer there, because they were always a mindset. They were never a physical reality. They were a perception of life. And with a new perception, you change everything. With a new perception, bad days become good. With a new perspective, lack becomes abundant. There is always so much abundance around us. An abundance of air, an abundance of water, an abundance of nature, an abundance of people and animals, an abundance of love, the abundance of divinity that fills every atom in all of existence. And begin to bless your life with this abundance, with this perspective of abundance. Because abundance was always there. It was in every single thing surrounding you. It merely took your perspective of abundance to activate it. If you perceive something as being lacking, it will continue that way. But if you can give something the gift of being perceived as abundant, it will blossom. It will blossom around you in your life. So bring this light and expansion of your soul to your life, in your mind right now, in your heart. Bring forth in your mind the things that you quote unquote dislike, don't want, and bring forth this new vitality, this new energy of gratitude. Thank you so much for being exactly as you are, because I understand with my higher perspective that you are in my highest and best good. Thank you. You are so beautiful. I am so lucky to be graced by your presence. It is so wonderful to have you here. And with this new light and love, allow yourself to perceive the reason and the purpose behind these hurdles or these difficulties in your life. Allow yourself to learn the lessons easily and willingly so that you will not be forced to in a tower card moment. I'm going to give you a few minutes with just the music to dive in and find out. Alrighty, I'm cueing you back in. Please pause or rewind if you need more time. Knowing that you are free. Knowing that freedom is your innate right. And just having more trust for the process moving forward, no matter what it looks like, how it manifests, how long, when, why, where. Oof, let it go. Let it be. Let it be exactly what it is and be grateful for it, knowing that it is all unfolding and happening for your highest and best good. And so it is. Alrighty, bringing our awareness back to the present moment, grounding these energies in, bringing them into our body, into our roots. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth with a sigh, letting it be. Thank you so much for meditating with me today and joining me for this video. I am wishing you all the trust, peace, and happiness in the world. Namaste.